But there are many artists and that sort of thing that I've interviewed over the years, and actors and things. But I don't find them the most interesting people because they quite often know how they're going to answer the question because they've done 1,000 interviews before. No, I think the best interviews are actually just people because you relate thinking that could so easily have been me. One thing I do not want my children to think is that they are better than somebody else.
Yeah,
and you know, the older people love listening to the youth stories as well.
Right.
He says that they ask him so many questions about what school's like today.
Hi Belinda, well it's been a little while since we've spoken and you always used to interview me as the REIQ Zone Chairman.
It's very strange actually.
Isn't it? Yes.
Being on the other side.
Yes, so from your ABC days, now you're at Concordia Lutheran College, so tell us a little bit about that journey.
Yeah, well I left the ABC at the start of 2023 and joined Concordia Lutheran College there. People often ask me why. I just think that, you know, new experiences, new things to do, new skills are always a good thing, you know, from a personal point of view. And I had done so many interviews at the ABC of, you know, well-known people, you know, community members, you know, court cases, whatever it might be. It started to become a blur because people would say, oh, what's the favourite interview that you've ever done? And I'm thinking, who have I interviewed? And I thought, that is a key that I'm starting to forget.
Yeah. So who would be the top three that you would have thought about?
Me. Celebrities are not the most interesting people. Some of them, I mean, obviously, I loved Rick Price when I was growing up.
Oh yeah.
So doing an interview with him was kind of cool because that was the person that I had a poster on the wall of. You know. But there are many, you know, singers and bands and you know, artists and that sort of thing that I've interviewed over the years and actors and things. But I don't find them the most interesting people because they quite often know how they're going to answer the question because they've done 1,000 interviews before.
Yes.
Politicians, they're formidable. I think probably the two most formidable ones were definitely Bob Hawke.
Oh, really?
Absolutely on his game in terms of intellect, or was.
Yes.
So I was nervous interviewing him.
Yep.
It went fine, but you know that he doesn't suffer. Well, he didn't suffer fools. He was going to cut you down pretty quickly.
Yeah, he was a real larrikin too, wasn't he?
He was. Yeah. But serious if he asked a dumb question, or what he considered it.
Yep.
And probably the other one was Keating.
Oh, Paul.
Yeah, because he also had that. No, there was no humour. In that. Gentleman at all. And so as a result he didn't, very serious man and did not suffer fools. So you had to be right on top of your game. So they were really formidable. I don't know, I think the best interviews were actually just people. That, you know, talked about once, you know, the change in their lives or something they've gone through or they've lost someone. That's always, you know, it's always tragic when people lose people from circumstances they never expected and how they cope with that and, you know, having young children to raise and the circumstances, that is probably the interviews that I will remember the most is that emotional ones when people have lost a loved one and how they've coped. And the personal stories are far more interesting because they're raw.
That's right.
Telling you
I remember sitting
about themselves, you know.
Years ago I was sitting again opposite Ray Martin.
I've interviewed him,
Did you? And I was sitting there at the table. I think Clive Armitage was on my right and Peter Rukas was on the next table and, you know, everyone's trying to listen into Ray's conversation. And it wasn't about Ray. It was about his book and, of course, signing it and stuff. But some of the stories, you know, and you just sat there and just listened. You didn't have to ask anything. It was, you know, the people he's spoken to over his time. It was really quite incredible.
And I think he would probably answer in the same way, that it's never the celebrities that are the ones that you... I mean, it's nice to interview them and everything, but they're not that interesting to me.
No, they get the clicks, but, you know, they don't, you know, do you really get to the nuts of it, you know? Yeah,
that's right. It's the real relatable stories. It's you know, the ones that you think that could happen to me.
Yeah, that's right.
What about if that happened in my life?
Yep.
They're the ones that keep you thinking. 'Cause you think, oh, gee, got to, you know, hug your child closer tonight or whatever, because you relate, thinking that could so easily have been me.
Yeah. I know we were talking just earlier, and when I was leaving school at Wilsonton, we had to come to a decision of which school we were going to go to, and a few of my mates went to Harristown. Some of my mates were going to Concordia, and we ended up going to Mount Lofty, of course, with quite a few of my other mates. But now that you've got that relationship with Concordia, maybe tell us a little bit about that part of your journey as well.
Oh, look, before I started working at Concordia, I did choose Concordia for my children.
Yep.
So, it came up in our radar for that reason. I mean, Toowoomba has such a big number of schools that you can choose from. So we saw them all, and that was the connection that my children went there. And
what made you choose Concordia? Like what do you think was
for me, it was I wanted a school that I felt like my children were not going to be in I'm not very big in these groups, because there's the so-and-so group, and there's the, popular kids, and there's the, smart kids, and there's the this kids. And I think in some of the schools that was quite evident that I looked at.
Yep.
And my children are more, they have eclectic friendships as I do.
Yep.
And I love the fact that I have eclectic friendships, connections everywhere.
Yep.
And I liked it smaller, being a little bit smaller, and I liked the feeling of it. And I don't like elitism. I have this absolute hate for it. And one thing I do not want my children to think is that they are better than somebody else.
Yeah, for sure.
And that was evident in some schools, whereas I didn't think it was in Concordia.
Yeah.
And it's not really about, it's always important to have facilities that are fit for the future. It wasn't really about flash, look at this beautiful brand new thingo.
Yep. Or even you as a mum, try and keep up with the other mums a bit, isn't it? Like there's a bit of that at
absolutely.
a lot of schools.
Sometimes parents, I think, choose for themselves rather than their child.
Yeah, but sometimes there's an expectation where, you've got to drive a certain car or look a certain way,
Absolutely.
or have your hair done, or go to take the kids to school in your gym gear, and and you think, have you actually been to the gym or not?
And as you know, I'm completely not that. So, and I work full time, and so does my husband. So I've got no time to honestly even go to those lunches and things.
Yep.
That's just not well. I just don't have the time.
Yeah.
So that definitely. But my kids love it. They have good friends, and they really like it.
What grade are they in now?
So Abigail's in grade 10 and Daniel's in grade 7.
Okay.
So this year, about to move up to the next. I cannot believe that Abby's only got a year and a bit, because they finish early now in grade 12.
Yeah, it's a bit scary, isn't it?
Months, yeah.
I just took my nephew to his formal, and that was a real experience for me.
When I went to school, I don't know about you, Leon, but when I went to school, parents didn't come to formals.
I really can't even remember ours. I think it was like just a dance.
How can you not remember your formal?
No, we did, because we went to Peter Eldridge's My Guy, which was the place to go get a suit. And we all got gold and brown retro suits, with the fleck through them. So we thought we were just it in a bit. That's right.
Have you got those photos still?
Still got the suit.
Where do you wear it?
I don't quite fit into it, but it brings back some great memories. And a white shirt underneath. We thought that was when Don Johnson was in Miami Vice.
Yes.
And that's his look, and that was our look at the time.
Oh my goodness.
I
went to St. Peter's Lutheran College in Brisbane as a boarder, actually.
Yes.
And our formal, the parents would come to the beginning bit, and then they'd all go away. But now the parents are like heavily involved.
It's a full
every
day.
school does it. Are heavily involved in the formal, which is quite, interesting to me.
Yeah, I still don't get it. Like, and with this one, you saw the dads with the eskies, so they got to have the beers at the park where they get the photos, and I'm thinking, can't you just let the kids get the photos? It was just a nice family thing, but it seems
very
to
much
be
changed.
It has. It's just such a I don't know what you call it. It's a process, where you start here and you finish there, and you go to the event at the night. And there's the logies where you pull up in the car and you hop out and you get the photos, and all the screaming girls at the front. That was quite interesting.
Oh, yeah, we have all the same.
Yeah,
it's all the same. They all line up around the driveway and they all drive around the circle driveway and everyone cheers and claps and the phones all break down because everyone's trying to get the same, shot.
Yeah. So
and it's all live streamed and flashing lights. And it's all
so you can't do a thing wrong anymore, right? Because somebody's got a camera on you.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
But it's fun. I just find it like the parents are going now, like it's going to be interesting for me because they are also thinking about, what am I going to wear?
Yes.
If you had old eyes and looked back and I looked back, well, say me, because I went to 3 formals actually. I went to another 2 with different partners, different gentlemen. And I did spend a fair bit of money on my parents' money on formal dresses. Would I do it again?
So a different dress for each event.
I did have a different dress for each event.
That would have been
but it was different
then.
years. So it was year 10, 11 and 12.
Yeah.
So I did have a dress for each event. But would I do that today? Probably not.
Yeah.
I've got better things to spend money. I can hardly remember it. I think I remember a bit of it, but not much.
Yep. And you still got the friends from back in the days? Like from school
one of my
friends?
best friends, yes, she's in Chinchilla actually.
Yep.
And she's from St Peter's in Brisbane. We went to boarding school together.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And we used to go out to her farm on weekends. Her parents had a pig farm.
Yes.
At Chinchilla. They are the cute. I remember the first time I saw a little baby pig.
Yeah.
They are the cutest things.
Yeah.
It's a shame they have to grow up.
So do you eat bacon?
I do, yeah.
Where from?
I try to get it from a local butcher.
Yep.
Or my husband does.
I use the guys out on Taylor Street or Andrews, but
yeah,
the guy at Taylor Street just fantastic.
Well, we try. I don't know which butcher Chris goes to, but he's pretty picky. He's the cook, of the house.
Well, you got to support the butchers, right? Because otherwise, you'll just be buying it at Coles and Woolies, and we know how that ends up.
Yeah, that's right.
Yep.
Well, if you want jobs for your children, then they're not all going to come from those big companies because they're going to automate it all. And then if you want the job for the year 10 or year 11 or year 12, child in your life, they're going to find it hard if you're not supporting the local, operations.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Exactly. So tell us a bit about merging the campuses over at Concordia as well.
So we announced this back in July 2023. And as with every development, it does take a little bit longer than what you think it's going to take.
Was that through council?
It's been fine, but it took a little bit longer. Yeah, I'm architect's daughter and architect's sister, so I kind of know that you always have optimism when it comes to developments.
Yep, you do. Yeah, I do.
Yes, but then it takes longer than what you think. But we're merging all of our campuses, so we actually have 3 campuses, and you can imagine that's a bit of a challenge.
Yes.
So we have Warwick Street, Hume Street and Stevens Street. So 2 junior campuses, which include kindies.
Yes.
And the senior campus, which is on Stevens Street. So what we're doing is we're merging them all into one onto Stevens Street. So Warwick Street will still exist, but it'll just be part of one campus.
Yeah.
And Hume Street will move, all of the staff will move, all of the kids will move over to Stevens Street to a brand new facility.
And that'd help you with efficiencies as well?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, cut down some costs. And
I don't think you realise until you work there, like busing kids over and getting them access to really great facilities at senior campuses when they're not near you is incredibly difficult.
Yeah.
Even like we do Teams meetings and everything, but it's not the same. Like we were talking before about human connection.
Yep.
You really need that human connection and the travel time, and absolutely it's a real challenge. So it's going to be great when they're all on one campus.
And you have your own buses as well?
We do, yep. And we've actually just expanded our bus service. It starts next year. So we're building the new Junior Learning Centre on South Street. And then that will house, years prep to 6.
So how many children do you have going there?
It's a deliberately small school, so we have 670, we're thinking, next year.
And the beauty with that is the teachers get to know the kids' names and understand 100%. Their personalities and the challenges that some children might have when they learn.
And that's one thing that Concordia hangs its head on. I mean, our principal always says, or our head of college, got to get that right.
Yes.
Our head of college always says, fully known and fully loved.
Yeah.
Each child. And he does know the name, and all of the teachers know the name of a child.
Yep.
Absolutely. And the parents, and he stands out the front. This is really sweet, actually. I remember as a parent, this was really sweet. I thought it was good. Mm-hmm. He stands out the front of all of the campuses and opens the car doors for the kids and takes their bags out and things. So he knows them really well. Yeah. And everyone does because it's a small school.
And then I guess the beauty of that is you don't really get too many naughty kids, do you?
No.
Because there's that bit of peer group pressure that, we're all good kids and, let's get along. And
absolutely. Kids will be kids. So that doesn't mean that we don't have the occasional problem.
Yeah.
But it's not not a big deal. And that's another reason why I chose it for my school, for my kids, because I want a situation where there's some control over bullying and bad. I want my child when they're sitting in the classroom, I want the peer pressure to try hard.
Yeah.
Not to see if you can make the teacher cry.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Well, look,
try hard. That's what you want.
Yeah, one of our staff, his wife works at a school, and one of the children at that school kicked a ball purposely straight into her face and gave her trauma, and you just think, what a rotten little kid. And that's, I want to get onto discipline of children, I think a lot of that discipline is missing these days, and I talk to a lot of parents and a lot of people that sell a house, and it always seems to come up, that discipline question, They don't feel safe in their own home because, the young kids that are breaking in or stealing cars and all that sort of stuff. Tell me a bit about Concordia and the discipline over there.
Look, we have a director of wellbeing who looks after that area, but I can talk as a parent in terms of this. If I ever have a problem and I say, look, I don't think that my child is having the opportunity to learn in his class because child X is talking too much, I go, just like any other parent, organise a meeting and it's resolved. Yep. Essentially. Yeah. And they talk to, that's the difference. Whereas, and our parents are open, they'll come and meet. We don't have, parents who want to fight that.
Yeah, it's not a them and us type thing.
That some
I do.
Some parents are like, oh no, it can't possibly have been mine.
Like
that.
Oh. Yeah, she's a little angel. Oh, not when she comes to school.
Absolutely. Yeah. So I think that being an independent school or being a private school gives you the ability to really look closely at the community and how kids are, interacting with each other and act faster, perhaps, in terms of if there is an issue.
Yep.
And there's a lot of work and effort that goes into that.
Yep.
And my kids, and I can speak by my own experience, have never had any problem with bullying or never, or being targeted in any way whatsoever.
And I think a lot of that's to do with the friends that they hang around, and you feel like, when your kids are hanging around other great kids, they're going to be great adults and and they're going to integrate into society better when they're hanging around, rat bags here and there, and they can be in the good private schools.
Oh, of course they can.
They're just it really makes for a seamless parent. Yeah,
of course they can. Yeah.
You don't have to worry about your kids, and I've often said to some of Jacob and Jessica's friends' parents, geez, we got lucky with the kids, didn't we? But
and I think sometimes that's, you think you're lucky, but actually it's the decisions that have been made or you've been able to make, financially able to make as well. Yeah. But it's the decisions you've made leading up to that point to make them, great kids. Yeah. Because it is about who's influencing them. It is about the parents' influence. Yep. It is about their siblings' influence. Their, if they're mixing with the wrong kids as well. So you need the right influence in those child's lives if you possibly can have. Yeah. And if they get the wrong influence, hopefully they have the strength of character to say no and be okay with that.
Yeah. And they don't feel like they're privileged kids either, No. I think all kids should just start at the bottom, work their way through and, like Jacob has, with the business here. He used to sleep under our desk when Karen and I were working.
Really? Sleep underneath the desk?
As a baby, yeah.
As a baby, I was saying now, is he still sleeping under the desk?
He comes into the office way late at night and still does work. So yeah, that's never changed, and I guess that's been instilled in him all the way through the business.
I think work ethic
It is work ethic.
is really important, no matter what you pick. So one of the things I like about Concordia, they do teach good life skills.
Yes.
So cooking.
Oh, okay, yep.
Working the cafe.
Yes.
Having to be there on time.
Oh, so the kids get to work in the cafe?
Yeah, we have a cafe and they serve other teachers and other students. It's packed, actually.
So tell me about the menu in the cafe. Is it like a health-driven menu, or is it?
No.
Can you have a little bit of?
No, not really. It's I'm a regular.
Yep.
It's coffee, tea, hot chocolate, white chocolate, mochas, chai lattes, all that stuff, all the cafe stuff.
Yes.
That you can make, milkshakes,
Yep.
And then they do croissants, cheese, and
Okay. So normal stuff.
normal cafe stuff. No, there's no health.
Okay. Yep.
Nothing. They're not thinking about health.
Yep.
But I have to say that they're just thinking about cafe skills. Really.
Yes.
But I have to say, I go every week, Tuesdays and Thursdays when it's open, and I have my tray, and I order like 8 of them for the whole staff.
Yeah.
And very eclectic, and they as in their orders, and nothing healthy about it.
Yep.
Is coffee flat white's not really healthy, is it? No.
Oh, I don't know. I think it depends which study you listen to, whether coffee is good for you or bad for you. Yeah.
But I like the life skills, and they learn how to make a meal at home.
Yes.
So 3 course, and the teachers, this is pretty cool actually. Sometimes I get to do it. You sit down and you're the judge, so you get served entree, main course, dessert, and you tell them what you think of it.
Yep.
Like write it down and things.
Yep.
And they do mock interviews where, again, I'll take the interview and I'll pretend that I'm the employer.
Yes.
And I'll say, you probably wouldn't have got the job, or you absolutely did get the job.
There you
know?
go. Not a bit of a master chef or a My Kitchen Rules type thing, where you're not that critique.
No. I try to be, as diplomatic as I can.
Because I'll tell you what, some kids have got great culinary skills.
Oh,
haven't they?
100%. Yeah, absolutely. They're talented in it.
You can tell the ones that get taught at home and the ones that have a lot of takeaway.
And we also they make chairs. So I've got 4 garden chairs that the kids have made.
Yep.
Those big white garden chairs.
Yep.
Yeah, they make all those. So I've got them sitting out the front of my yard. You buy them, as part of their, they sell them. So we buy them at the end of the year.
Yep.
And one really great thing that I know you'd love, Liam, in terms of listening to what you're saying, we have a month-long camp. It's called Guga.
Yes.
Right? And it's part of a transition program, you might call it, the Right Learning it's called, or the Right Journey for our Year 9s. And they go away for a month, no phones, no computers, no nothing.
Yep.
And what they have to do to communicate with their parents, write a letter.
Yeah, right.
They physically don't see them.
Yeah,
Suddenly
no
they
mum to watch
understand
them.
Actually it takes a fair bit of work to run a house.
Yeah. That's what mum does when she gets home, and dad does all the other stuff that dads do. Yeah.
Yep. No, and the kids really love it because they do lots of outdoor activities.
Yep. Tell me, what about the arts and like music and performing and all that sort of stuff?
Well, my daughter is a big drama arts child, so she loves being in the musicals.
Yes.
So we've got our musical next year in May. That's Anastasia. And we do one every 2 years. And outside of that, we do an arts tour to Melbourne and Sydney, which is awesome.
Oh, okay.
NIDA and the National Dance Institute, and it seems like never-ending amounts of musicals.
Yes.
And they go to see backstage tours of things that they wouldn't have otherwise got the opportunity to. So they do that. We have a visual art program, so we run art shows, every year that parents come into and the general community can come to.
Yep.
We have a dance program and a dance team that competes at Concordia. Not long ago we had new uniforms done for them.
Yes. Do you have like some big events like
Oktoberfest?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. So tell us about that.
Oktoberfest was this year.
Yeah.
And then we'll hold it again next year.
Is that the first time, or is
no?
it
We had it
ongoing
last year
thing?
as well.
Yep.
We used to have it in a much smaller capacity, but we've decided to make it a community event. So all of Toowoomba is invited. So we had fireworks and bands and beer, and I think the kids made some enormous amounts of what is it? what's the German sausage? I'm trying to think now.
No,
Bratwurst.
Bratwurst.
And the twisty...
The croissant. The
what are they
pretzels?
called? Pretzels. Yes, they made hundreds of pretzels in the kitchen,
Yeah.
the kids themselves.
Yep. And then you sell
400
those?
or something and sell them all. Yep.
So how do you do fundraising over there too? Like
Oktoberfest has become a big one.
That's the one,
Yep. So Oktoberfest is our main one in terms of fundraising.
Yep.
But we also have a college foundation where people can donate, but we'll have little events throughout the year, where we might.
So that's more for mums and dads to donate, pretty much.
Yeah, we'll have little, like in the musical, there'll be sponsorship, or we might have a function at the start, or whatever the case might be. Yeah, we have trivia nights occasionally, that sort of thing.
Yep. Yeah. It's really hard to fundraise in this environment, isn't it?
It's very hard.
As a business owner, you're asked multiple times a week, can you donate, can you support? And we've stuck with the Empire Theatre Foundation. We like to give the kids bursaries.
Yes, which I saw you at, or I saw your son at.
Yes. Yeah. And we've done that for many, many years. We were one of the foundation sponsors of that. And the beauty is that's all to do with kids. Like a lot of the things we do, and now what we do is we give $1,000 a month away to a local charity. Tony's Kitchen is the next recipient of that, and Rosie's and lots of those nice, good heart local community ones that we're big supporters of Teen Challenge and all that sort of stuff. So it's really interesting to see that integration of business into not only the schools but also into the charities and this.
Look, I have to say business support is continuing to be a critical, probably more important. And then you have one big event through the year.
Yep.
And then hopefully you can raise money that way. But it's business support that you're hoping for.
Yeah, that's right.
And, our kids do, Tiny's Kitchen, they volunteer there. And we actually have a big program, which I think is really cool, where we go to Salem.
Oh, yeah.
And the kids visit them every fortnight.
Yeah, right.
To make sure that they have connections with them.
And that'd be good for the oldies, right?
Yeah,
because
100%.
I've been to those homes way too many times. I go there every week, every couple of weeks to Blue Care and stuff. And you just go, wow, it's really sad to see what we're doing to old people. Like,
And the kids go and they make friendships and they make things with them and they have a great time. Some really good friendships.
Yeah, lovely. I like that.
Yeah, it's really good. Life skills, learning to communicate with people you don't necessarily know and you might not have a lot in common with, and then you find out, actually, we do have something in common, no matter what the age is.
Yeah, that's right. I love listening to, I say old people, but I'm getting old now myself. But,
Are you an old person?
I'm 55 now, but I love listening to old stories and, when I was a shearer's cook and when I was, working out on the farm and
the older people love listening to the youth stories as well, because my son Daniel goes on the program, the volunteering service program, and he says that they ask him so many questions about what school's like today, because of course it's changed, as it does.
Yeah. I used to go back and do entrepreneurial studies with the kids, how to do business and real estate, and then how to get into your first rental property and, all those things, because that's really important to kids, right? Because if they're going to leave home, they need to have a resume to move into a rental property,
Absolutely.
So, it's really important.
I know that rental properties are tough to get into.
Well, we look after 1,000 of them, and we've got 0.05% vacancy rate. Like, it's really, really skinny.
Can I tell you a funny story about a rental?
Yep.
When we first moved, oh no, that's right. We were looking for a rental property because we were building a house. Right, so we needed a rental property for maybe 12 or 14 months. I pulled out the big guns. I had references from the mayor, the CEO of Toowoomba Country Tourism, the premier.
Oh, yeah.
I pulled out all the stops, right? The head of the director of, the superintendent of police.
Oh, yes.
Wrote me a reference, for Chris and I. And so we went to this, we made an appointment thinking that it was an appointment.
Yeah, this is going to be impressive.
Yeah, and then we went to the rental property, and that was a cast. And I'm like, why are all these people here?
30 people, I've got to fight.
And we didn't get it.
Oh, no.
And we didn't get it because and I know him well today.
Yep.
He's a good friend of mine, actually. He's on the Crime Stoppers committee that I'm on. And he beat me to it, and he was the head detective. And I thought,
but we can't give favouritism to people. We just got to put the best tenants in, Yeah.
Just goes to show I knew it was going to be tough, so I pulled out every gun I possibly could, and it's still down.
A lot of people ring me direct saying, Leon, can you put a good word in with your property manager? I said, I can do that, but I can't do anything more for you because we've just got to put the best tenant in. Yeah. Belinda, we've probably come to pretty close to the end. Is there anything else you want to throw at me? Because it's been a pretty good interview, hasn't it? Hey? The reverse role, me interviewing you instead of you interviewing me.
Well, all I can say is I'm really excited about the master plan for Concordia because we're building a facility that's going to be, based on a fit for the future. Yeah. And we have to be a society that has, future educational ideas and approaches involved in that building. Yeah. It's purpose built and it's going to be really lovely and I'm looking forward to it. Rising from the ground, as they so to speak. Yeah. So then we're doing the junior campus, the early learning centre, and then we're building all these fabulous, like a sports centre, a performing arts centre. It's very exciting.
Yeah, good on you. Well done.
You'll have to come and do the shovel.
The shovel. Look, I might try and pinch a shovel off one of my old mates, and I've still got plenty I use today. I can't use those ones, but I'd love a nice shiny one to help you out there. Yeah, that'd be great.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Nice to chat.
All righty.